Hello, this is Ken Perry with this week's Boots in the Field report. At last week's Beyond the Series meeting, we asked a survey question about crop rotation. Basically, your answers were, I'm staying the same, I'm not changing rotation, or I'm planting more corn, or I'm planting more beans next year. I was surprised to see 36% of you guys are changing up your rotation. That's a lot higher than I'd anticipated. But when we look at how you're changing the rotation, it was right down the middle. It was an equal split. So the same amount of people planting more corn as there is planting more beans. Now that's actually not a surprise because that's how the questions have been coming in. This guy would be wanting more corn. This guy would want more beans. And it seemed kind of confusing as far as guys going different directions. And that's what the survey suggested as well. And that's one thing I guess that I like about the crop tech customers is they follow the money. Give the market what it wants. By switching fields, it tells me that you not only know your cost of operations for the whole operation, but you know your cost of operations per field. So let's be sure to lock down those inputs as they seem to be going up. Getting a price gets harder to do when your retailer sells out of their storage inventory. And that's because it's harder for them to lock down prices for inputs for the spring. Along with locking down the cost on the other side, make sure you're doing something to protect yourself on the market. Another discussion going along with crop rotation is the potential for herbicide carryover issues. Growers have commented on how clean the fields are of winter annuals, and even fields that they didn't put burn down on. The question is this because of dry conditions and the weeds not doing so well, or are the 2020 herbicides still working? Well, the answer could be both. Look at your crop rotation restrictions on the herbicides that you applied last year and when you applied them. Pay special attention to those that have that 10 to 12 month rotation restrictions, like in corn with their atrazines. Especially if you planted your corn in May, June last year and planned to plant your soybeans in April this year. You guys who kept swinging at the weeds in your non-GMO beans, making later applications, let's say in the Flexstar family, into late June, maybe need to take warning as well. The dry conditions 30 days after application can really push out the herbicide's half-life, meaning that it'll last longer. Not much breakdown happens in the winter. It'll start again next spring. I found the best way to answer the question of potential herbicide carryover is to do a grow out now while we have time. Go to the fields in question during the next thaw and gather up some soil from the top 1.5 inches. If there's going to be an application or carryover problem, it's going to be right there at the surface. That's where it'll be the hottest. Now collect these samples in the potential overlap zones on the ends or in the corners. I know there's less of those today with the technology we have, but where you think the potential may be that you actually got a higher rate. If these areas pass the test, we're good to go. Bring that soil into a heated shop, spread it out in a pan, and plant a seed mixture in there and do a grow out. Now I like oats, corn, and what we call regular beans. Oats are like the canary in the minefield. They will show symptoms at a lot lower levels than a corn plant will to give you an indication there's something out there. Now, if the beans die in your grow out in a field that you're planning to go beans in, you may want to rethink your rotation in that field. Again, a simple test takes a little time, but again, put them in a pan, plant the seeds, water them, and just watch it and see what happens. And you'll know way in advance before we get into trouble with a lot of herbicide carryover issues dawned on the dry finish of last year and maybe the potential dry start of next year. Work that all the way through. So with that, we will be seeing, or you will be seeing me next Thursday at the Beyond the Basics series. To stay up to date, check out our website at croptechinc.com and subscribe to our podcast, Boots in the Field Report. Keep her safe, keep her moving.